This is why we don't read instructions. Instructions are nonsense. We've got a new screwdriver. Welcome back to the order, you Doctor Who enthusiasts. Today we're going to take a look at the brand new Toynk exclusive 11th Doctor sonic screwdriver by Surreal Entertainment. We'll take a look at the packaging, the design of the screwdriver and how faithful it is, the electronics, and lastly we'll do a quick compare and contrast against one of the original character options designs. If you enjoy this video, it would be amazing if you could leave a like and subscribe.
Help a veteran get a warm meal.
Geronimo! Starting off with the packaging, it's fairly basic, but it sits broadly in line with the packaging used by character options with the recent 14th Doctor release. It's almost entirely recyclable, all cardboard bar these zip ties that keep the sonic screwdriver in place. We've got Surreal Entertainment's TARDIS blue packaging, which is nice. The sides continue the TARDIS motif, but this time in white, and then on the back you have your legal guff. Wonderful. Let's get these zip ties off and get you released. Inside the box, you do get this small pamphlet containing the instructions, but we don't read instructions. Getting to the screwdriver itself, it looks pretty good actually. We'll take a quick spin around. There's already one thing that I've seen I don't like. Well, first thing is this seam right up the middle there, which is pretty disgusting. On the back you have this battery compartment here with a little bit of guff. Not the nicest thing. You're on the back of the Sonic, so I suppose this is going to be in your hand like that. So if you've got it like that, or if you've got it on display, you can easily hide the legal gubbins, so that's fine. Looking around, so up here at the top you've got your claws. They're a little bit far away from the emitter bulb for my liking, but again, I'm not entirely convinced that character options ever made that more secure or particularly better. You've got the sort of bronze effect here, which looks nice. A little pale possibly, but it does look nice. It's got quite a nice metallic shine to it. It feels okay, it feels nice. You've got your what's supposed to be leather effect, but that's pretty bad. That just looks and feels cheap. But there you go. You've got this section down here around the handle. Not much to say about that. It's a cream handle. It was cream on the character options one. Down at the bottom you continue with the... Goodness me, will you be quiet? Down here at the bottom you carry on with the copper section, and then you've got the functioning red button down here, which does nothing. It's just a clicker. Okay. Oh, and it won't close. Stay shut. Okay. Character options had this problem with this bit too. It flopped and flipped around. Why they didn't make it magnetic or something like that on the character options, I don't know. They really should have fixed that for this, but there you go. Okay, so yeah, overall, it's okay. It looks good. It looks good enough. The black bit around here, this plastic here, does feel bad, and it looks pretty bad. It's supposed to be leather. That's the whole point of this stitching here, is it's supposed to mimic the fact that there's been leather stitched together, but because that's so smooth, it's quite clearly just cheap plastic. So, oh my god, this thing is trigger happy. So the next thing that we have is this button here, and that gets you your extender.
Yes, it's an extender. Yeah. Fantastic. That's the icing on the cake.
Why have you popped open? Right. As you extend it, you've got this section here, which... Oh, there you go. And if I do it there, you can see there now. You can actually see through. That's just transparent green plastic. And you can actually see the full spring. You can see it there as well. You've got the wire that you can see all the way across to the top, up to the bulb itself. Overall, as a function, that was pretty powerful. So that's okay. That feels sturdy. And it feels like if I'm wafting this around, I can do the iconic, feel like I can do the old Matt Smith flick. Easy enough to depress it back into that position. This little bottom bit does not want to stay closed. But that's it really. Is it accurate enough? Yeah, you can tell that this is a Matt Smith Sonic, arguably a Peter Capaldi Sonic, because he did use it for a season before it was destroyed when it was given to Davros, but yeah, it's okay. The Matt Smith sonic screwdrivers sort of became a dime a dozen at one point because Character Options just kept releasing it because fans loved the extender. They loved this spring-loaded ignition, they loved the flick, and it was, it's a fan favourite design. Nothing wrong with that. So Surreal Entertainment's option, I assumed, was going to be based entirely on the first ever incarnation by Character Options, which came out in 2010. Now that was activated using the red button at the bottom and caused its own problems. This seems to be an amalgamation of the physical design from Character Options' original 2010 offering, but with the electronics from Character Options' final iteration of this design, which was the 12th Doctor's version. And I've got the 12th Doctor's version of this sonic screwdriver for us to take a look at, and you'll see what I mean. But before we do that, let's roll through the electronics, shall we? So, we'll do it when it's not extended. This thing on the bottom is really irritating. There's no physical activation button for the electronics on this. It's touch operated, which is why it was getting a bit trigger happy at the start of the review. So, I'm going to work on the basis this operates the same as the 12th Doctor version from Character Options, and say that if you put your thumb or finger basically at the base, just a light stroke. Oh, you know what? You can't hit them for the sensitivity there. That's pretty good. It picked up every single touch. So, okay, come on, back in the room. Whew. So, just put your finger on it up. All it needs to do is feel a bit of skin. So rude. Okay. So, very nice, very sensitive. So that's actually pretty cool because it's fairly futuristic. You never really see the Doctor physically pressing a button on this design. He does lots of swishing and flicking, so that's pretty good. Let's see what happens if I do it twice. In fact, actually. So you're getting two different sound effects there, and I'll turn off the lights in a second so you can see the bulb brightness a bit better. But so you've got first opening sonic sound, second slightly lower sonic sound. The speaker on this is pretty good, it's pretty loud. So that's good. Now if I do 2 taps, let's see what happens. Nothing. Okay. Let's see what happens if I tap 3 times. Nothing. Okay. Let's see what happens if I do 4 times. Nothing. Okay, so this might be limited to only 2 sounds, which is a bit of a shame. I will, I said I wasn't going to do it, but let's check this instructions. That's in French. That's no good. Okay, well, this says activation button D. Alright, bit of an issue here, and maybe someone else who has this sonic screwdriver can tell me something. The instruction here tells me that there's supposed to be activation button A, which operates when the unit's closed, and then the red button, which is activation button B, is supposed to operate when the unit's open or closed. This is telling me this is supposed to have 2 buttons, but we've already established that does not. And this, oh, hello. I was touching the top. Got excited. Come on, you're a professional. Right. Weird. So the instructions don't tally with the screwdriver that I have. This is brand new. What's going on here, Surreal Entertainment? Your instructions. This is why we don't read instructions. Instructions are nonsense. There's no way of getting a different sound from this. So you've got 2 settings on this. You've got scan 1 and scan 2. It's bright. Like I said, the speaker on this is pretty loud. The speaker is nestled in here. So actually that's a good thing from a design point of view. There's nowhere where you've got physical speaker grids or anything like that to worry about. It's all hidden. So yeah, overall, I've got a bit of an issue because the instructions don't match. Yes, it's limited to 2 sounds, but I mean, because it's touch control, you could be scanning, and it's nice and continuous. So that's a nice little, because I'm pretty sure Matt Smith does that. I did say that I would do a quick compare and contrast against some of the other options, which are the character options sonic screwdrivers, which are very readily available. The original was released in 2010, but we've had a number of different options since then, culminating in what I originally considered to be the sort of masterclass version, which was this, the version released for the 12th Doctor. So as you can see, this is very, very similar in design to this. There's a difference in the paint. Character options went with a much darker copper colour than the sort of pale colouring given to us here by Surreal Entertainment. If you look at the emitter section, I think it's pretty much about the same in terms of how snug those claws are to the bulb. The next comparison that I was going to provide was looking at the functions on this, and originally when I bought this, everything online said that it had the physical buttons just like the instructions did. So I thought this was going to be a much different comparison than the one it is, but it's actually pretty similar. So both of these have a single button design. To activate both of these screwdrivers, you actually use just touch along this leather effect section, and that's where, in fact, just focusing on the leather effect, you can see there that there's a lot more sort of graininess to the 12th Doctor's version, and that's where the simplicity of the Surreal Entertainment one doesn't really sit with that faux leather design that they were going for. But sounds are activated by the same function, so you have the same touch, but significantly less sensitivity. I'm actually having to press that quite a lot. But with the 12th Doctor's iteration, I could press this or tap on it multiple times and it would produce different sound effects. So I'll give you an example. So you did actually get a bit of extra functionality from that release by character options, and it's a shame that almost this is so sensitive that there doesn't seem to be any other way to generate those extra sounds. And I thought that's where the red button might come in, but no, unfortunately not. So we have a pro with the Surreal Entertainment version that it is noticeably more sensitive, and that's good because it means you literally just graze it and that's enough to set off the electronics, and that you're limited to just those two sounds. The next difference is this really irritating bottom flap, and like I said, character options did do this with their 2010 release, but they got rid of it because fans didn't like it. It was really irritating. What they gave us with the 12th Doctor was this awesome little power cord. Doesn't do anything, it's just a nice little neat bit of sort of functionality and display with what is in otherwise dead space on the screwdriver. As a Doctor Who fan and as a sonic screwdriver connoisseur, can I recommend this as something that you need to buy? I'm on the fence, if I'm honest. Price wise, this isn't worth it. Currently in the UK, if you wanted to pick one of these up, you're looking at paying about 50 quid. You can get these on Amazon, but then you've got to pay an extra £10 for delivery. You can pick up one of these 12th Doctor sonic screwdrivers from eBay for about £22. They do broadly the same thing. You actually have more electronic options on the character options version than you do on the Surreal Entertainment one. You don't have this irritating bottom button that doesn't do anything with the character options one, and it's a fraction of the cost and it looks pretty much the same. The biggest difference obviously is the colouring. So unfortunately, while you initially got me quite excited, Surreal Entertainment, I think your character options older brother is going to take the post on this one. Swing and a miss.